Well, blessings and welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, Lady JB Owen, and I am here talking to you about the power of igniting humanity. And I say it with power and punch, folks, because we are blessed, each and every one of us, to have the ability and the capacity to ignite humanity. It's true. One person can make a rapid and incredible difference in the lives of so many people. And we've seen it throughout history. We've seen people who have done magnificent things, one person at a time, creating wonderful ripple effects around the globe. And we love to talk to those people and go back to the starting point, the ignition point, I like to call it, the ignite moment, the moment that really started the transformation. And that ignite moment leads people to doing something exciting in their lives that absolutely is helping humanity. And I think more than ever, we all need to be thinking about how can we do something not just for ourselves, but for the people around us. And if it's not just for the people around us, then let's think about the generation to come or the generation after that. Thinking about the longevity of humanity is so important to all of us. And that's why I come on this show every day, Monday to Friday at this exact time, to talk to you live with guests who are igniting humanity in their own unique way. And we do that with their special Ignite moment. So let's get started. All right. Well, our guest today is Ann Tucker. She's a channel for information and healing from the angelic realm, awakening hearts and souls to take advantage of this time of rapid growth and ascension. As a trance channel, Ann enters a meditative state where she connects to the angelic realm and allows angels to speak directly through her. The practical, poetic, and inspiring messages she brings offers angelic guidance and healing frequencies that help prepare and usher us into the planetary shift of consciousness. She shares these weekly messages on her super popular YouTube channel and is dedicated to facilitating the unity of humanity. Let's welcome her to the show. Welcome.
Hey, thanks so much. It's great to be here with you guys.
Thanks so much for being here and welcome. I think a lot of our viewers might be very interested to hear, what does it mean to be an angelic trance channel? That may be new for some people. Is there the layman's explanation that you can give us?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is for those of you who are less esoterically minded, it does take a little bit of a widening of your definition of what is energy. But to be an angelic trance channel means I go into a deep meditative state. So a lot of people meditate. I go into a deep state. From that state, I raise my awareness as high as I can go. And then I go a little higher and I connect. And then angels come through and they speak through me. They actually speak through my vocal cords.
Wow. I'm putting my hand up first. I so want to have that experience and enjoy that. Tell me a little bit about how that evolved. How did that come into your being?
I'm so glad you asked because I did not believe in angels. I was not a particularly spiritual. I would say I was interested in things that were esoteric, but I grew up in a household without religion. I was a business person. I was in the corporate world, right? I started out, I was a negotiator for Microsoft, and then I was an executive coach. I was working with the executives in some of the largest companies in the US. And then this started pulling at me, and it pulled at me harder and harder and harder until finally I had to leave a very successful career to do something that everyone said I could not make a living at. And a lot of people would think I was crazy for doing.
Isn't that always the case with visionaries and people who want to do big things? Everyone says you're crazy. And yet now here you are. Does it feel crazy? Does it feel aligned? Like what? Tell me a little bit. How is it feeling inside of you, even though you stepped into that, what people considered craziness?
Incredible. It is, my life has transformed in every single aspect. I feel like at this point in my life that I am guided, I'm in flow, where I make choices through my heart, where I every year I re-evolve my work based on what I love. Like, what are the pieces that I still find joy in doing? What are the pieces that I'm done with? And I change it. And every time I'm willing to step off the cliff, and I get pushed literally every 2 years. I get guidance through my dreams and through my channeling. You know, that thing that used to be like your primary income, stop doing that because something new is coming and they don't tell me what. So I have to take the leap over and over and over again. And I do. And every time I do, my life expands and things become better. And so it's been a constant process of trust and learning to build that muscle of trust and being willing to be in flow, not to feel like I was the one that was like the perfectionist, that everything had to be perfect, everything had to be controlled, right? And the more I've learned to let go and to let life flow through me, and it's a completely different way of living. And yeah, I'm very happy.
It definitely sounds angelic. I love it. May I ask, can we connect with our angels, or do we need somebody at a channel like yourself to have that conversation?
Not at all. Yeah, you can absolutely connect with your angels. Absolutely, 100%. And they are there waiting to connect with you. As a matter of fact, everybody has heard about having a guardian angel, and that is a real thing. And these are real beings. And they're not meant to be up on a pedestal where we're like, like that. They don't want that, because that creates distance between us and them. They would, like, your guardian angel is actually like integrated into your body. Like they are tied to your existence, and they are the guardians of your soul. And so they are here with you until you leave. Like, they're part of your existence. And then you have, on top of that, you have your whole team of guides, of which many are angels. And so to speak with them, to connect with them, it's important with angels because their like prime directive is that they have to respect your free will. So to connect with them, to communicate with them, you have to speak out loud. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that you have to create a finished thought form and put it out there. And then they can intervene, they can help you. The other thing a lot of people don't realize is that we look to to the divine, we look to it for guidance. We're like, tell me which way to go. Like, I feel like I should be doing something else. Tell me what it is. And when you ask that, you will hear nothing. You will get crickets, because the thing is that when we come to earth, we are the captain of the team. We have a whole team of helpers, like our guides, our angels, who are here to help us, but we are the team captain, and we have to listen to our heart, to listen to where we are called and make the choice. And the minute we make the choice, they can get in behind us, but they won't take over that lead role. We have to choose the direction of our life. So and I think where a lot of people fall down is they get really wrapped around the axle around, like, I have to make the best choice. Like, I have to choose the best thing. And the truth is the only thing that's going to make your choice the best is the degree to which you commit to it. How much of your energy are you putting towards that thing you choose? And part of that energy is your team, right? So it is about finding an option that is maybe one of the best options, and choose it with all of your heart. Commit to it, say it out loud, call in your guidance, and then all of you goes in terms of your investment to create the best outcome for yourself.
So well said. I'm absolutely enamored with that idea, because a lot of us are listening to, what is that negative voice? Is that another angel? Is that, I call it the D9, negativity, that's sort of like disastrous and, creating all kinds of chaos. What is it that we're listening to that often isn't pushing us forward?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that is the journey from the head to the heart. That when we are in our head, we are doing the things that we think are wise. Like, we're taking precautions, or we're saying, oh gosh, if I do that, these people, I mean, like, I got to tell you, GB, for me coming out of the closet, like, think of what I had to leave behind. Like, it is a one-way ticket to walk out of the boardroom, to tell the boardroom, I am a trance channel. I talk to angels. Like, there is no way back into that old job, right? Like, it's not happening. And same thing, like, the craziest thing you think about, like, who are the people that are going to judge you? Where is it that you're insecure, whether it be family or past friends, like the people from high school? Like, who are you worried about that's going to judge you if you come out on Facebook and be like, yeah, my angel said this to me today? And that is our place of, like, that's where we are in our head. That's where we are replaying old traumas that we had, right? So that voice is where we confront ourselves through this journey. And I think it's by design. Like, the point is for us to bump up against it and to see it and be like, oh my gosh, there is me telling me I'm limited. And it is a voice based on conditioning. And it was natural that I picked up that conditioning because it was a hard journey. But now I can see it. And I can remember that I am limitless, right? That there is nothing. The only thing that's in my way is me. So if I can see that fear, embrace and love that fear, and do it anyway.
Let me ask you, I was just spending some time with my teenager the other day, and she was sharing how hard life is and how difficult high school is and how hormones and friends and all of that. And I, of course, said to her, honey, the angels are with you. Just lean on your angels. And she kind
Yeah.
of gave me the weird teenage face, like, really, mom, that's your answer. So I'm curious to just follow up with her and help her more. Does everyone have their own unique angel? Is there a set of angels that is common amongst us all? Can you help me with giving her some more context?
Yes, 100%. And it's a great question. So, yes, we all have our own unique angel that is our guardian angel that, like I said, is actually intertwined with your body, that is part of you. And so it's like you don't have to go anywhere. You have to, that's why they always say go internal, right? It's inside. And the heart is the access point for everything. I think of it as like when we came into the earth, when we were born, when we're on the outside, when we're out, as out in the afterlife, or however you want to think of it, when we're on the other side, like divinities are all around us, it's surrounding us. And when we come through and get born, it's literally like, imagine that you're covered by it, and then you go through it and it's peeled off of you, and all that's left is this little tiny pinpoint that is in the heart space. And this is your connection back up there. And so, yes, we have to go into the heart, but to recognize, like, it's interesting. I think, like, specifically answering you about talking to your teenager, like, I've got teenagers, my kids are now in their 20s. And the thing that made the difference was bringing it home to the things that matter. My kids all the time, when they realized that I could channel for them about, like, does this boy like me? Does this girl like me? And get them that kind of information, it opened the door for them to realize that there is more than just this physical body. There is more than just the things that seem to matter in our daily life. There is something else. There's another way to connect and to relate to our experience. So I think any way we can find through to that passage. So the journey that my kids are on right now is they run into confrontation, they find something going on in their life, and then they try to see, and this is, we work together, we talk about it. Where is that hurt inside of themselves? What do they have to believe to be creating that reality? What is their past conditioning that is bringing up this, this difficult boss, this challenging situation in their life? And then we try to shift that through a variety of tools. We try to help them shift it. And then they see the consequences in their daily life. And that's what then becomes this heart expansive journey. They start to see themselves as the creator of their lives. And I think kids they're never too young to start that process, to understand that they are the creator of their journey. And that is a process of working with our angels. So even if they're uncomfortable with the idea, they don't believe in other beings, it can start with them. It can start with their understanding of themselves and their perceptions and their beliefs as creating their journey, and working with, seeing, like I said, what do they have to believe to be creating this reality? How is this person who's showing up in their life, who's being awful? Like, how is that person a gift? How are they showing them something that they already believed about themselves? And that's, I think, the way in, when somebody isn't totally open yet to these, it's very hard to make the leap
Right.
from, daily life to angels.
Right. And that lends itself to the conversation that it's not always going to be perfect and harps playing and, jumping around on clouds and like the light, everything, because a lot of our lessons and learning and much of our growth comes through some of our challenges and some of our trials and tribulations and some of our ignite moments. Can you
Mm-hmm.
talk a little bit about how everything is divine, even the tough times, and how even for yourself, when you were going through that transition and what felt difficult and maybe impossible at one point, really led towards the gifts and the gains and the blessings and all the things to come?
Oh gosh, I so appreciate that question, because yes, there were so many times on my journey where I was called, like I said, to do things that I was told I would fail. I was told this was, this is a done choice. Like, what are you doing? And as a matter of fact, born into the exact family that would never understand what I'm doing today. Very logical, very intellectually focused. So it was a process of having to say, to sort of to go my own journey, and then to let them accept me as I am. And I think in terms of my own process, seeing my own difficulties come up and face me. Some of the journeys I had in terms of really bad past marriages, those were karmic experiences where I had to learn the process of forgiveness, and that was gosh, was that hard, like really, really hard. And I struggled with it. I remember being in the depths of that experience and knowing I needed forgiveness, but not knowing how to have it, knowing how to feel it, struggling with myself, saying, why does this still trigger me? Why does every time this person sends me an email, my heart expands and explodes, and I feel all these terrible feelings? Why? I don't want to feel that. And it was a process of understanding. It took me step upon step. And that would be the thing I would say to people, is to be gentle with yourself in this process, to engage in your own healing and know that it's not a one-time thing. It's like going to the gym, is that you got to go repeatedly, because we are built of layers. And for me, finding that, like, I remember as I was going through my process of forgiveness, the first step was, in the beginning, I kept trying to find ways to distance myself from the feelings by saying, oh, it's just that he's just this really bad guy, but the worse I made him, the worse it was, until I finally had to get to the place where it was like, no, this feeling that I had was always in me. And I had to get to the place where I said, this person, like, when we come to earth, no one wants to be the bad guy. Like, think about that. No one wants to think of themselves as a schmuck in their own story. Everyone wants to be the hero of their own journey. So why would anybody choose to come to earth and be the schmuck? Why would anybody say, I want to come into JB's life and be an absolute jerk and make her miserable? That's what I want to do. Like, nobody wants to do that. So when someone does it, especially those really prime pivotal moments, it's often because we have a soul contract with that person. We needed to be shown that difficult part of ourselves. And the only way to do it, and this difficult earth school, is through contrast, is for that person to bump up against us and cause us pain. And so we look at those people, those experiences that were incredibly difficult, and we say those were gifts. That soul chose to be the schmuck so that we could learn. And you may not like their earthly self. You may look at their earthly self and just be not excited to see that person, but you can love their higher self. You can love that part of them that is blessing you with that wound, so that you can see it in yourself. Because I'll tell you, the more work you do on yourself, the harder it is to see your wounds. The hardest, like, they're deeper and deeper and deeper. Every time you get triggered, it is a gift.
It truly, truly is. And in the spirit of healing, let's talk a little bit about some of the healing you did when you began to write your story. You shared your Ignite moment in one of our books. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh gosh, my full healing journey, like in my Ignite moment that I wrote about in the book, was talking about back when I was first starting to be an entrepreneur, and I had created this board game, and it was early in my journey, and it was early in my process of seeing my own limitations. And so that piece of it, like, at that time, my biggest wound at that moment that I was trying to heal, was the fear of being seen, which I think a lot of people can relate to. And the issue with my board game was that I was nowhere on it. Like, I made tutorial videos, and also all you could see was my hands, no face. There was no name. My name was not on the packaging. There was no me anywhere. And the only time I ever sold those, even though they were like award winning, like, I had every, great thing that you could possibly do in terms of saying, this is an amazing product, you should have this. The only time I could make sales is when someone was buying it from me. Like, when I was there telling them about it, and then I would sell a bunch. I did an interview that led to tons of sales, but once that one interview died down, it was like when it was me talking about every time I was willing to be seen, then it worked. But I didn't make the connection, right? I didn't put two and two together to realize if I hide, then anything I create can't be found either. And so it took me, it was a journey of several years getting to the place where I became willing to be seen. And it was a two-step process. It was working on the wounds of fear of being judged. And then it was also just doing it, and the two worked hand in hand. The more that I just, like I said, jumped off the cliff, and then also working on understanding why. Like, why am I afraid of being judged? Why do I fear, if I put myself out there, that it's going to be negatively received? I had to go through all of that and come to a place where now, when I come out and I speak with you, and I know that there will be people that are, I feel like the world is full of friends I haven't made yet. You know what I mean? And it's a
True.
different
And
experience.
I feel so blessed because I feel my guests come on the show and they offer so much to me personally and then so much to my viewers. And I know that every single person can take one gem, one nugget, one beautiful blessing home from every single interview. And that can start helping them ignite their lives, which is going to ignite humanity. It's a big, beautiful feeling. Tell me
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit, is there something in the spirit of Solution Day being a Thursday? Is there something you can offer our listeners? Because I'm sure everyone is like, okay, yes, and I want more of that. I love what you're sharing. I love I want to have that feeling. Is there something you can give them a solution or some steps that they can take?
Yeah, 100%. I say one of the things I would give as a solution is just going off of what we were just talking about is those moments that people where people might fear being seen, fear putting themselves out there because of a fear of conflict, because of the fear of what negative comments someone may make, and we hear so much about that in social media where people are mean. And I'd say that in those moments, because it happens, I do get crazy people. Crazy is a judgment, in which I don't mean to be judgmental. I'm just trying to express concisely what I'm talking about is people who will make nasty comments. And it happens sometimes, not that often, honestly, but it happens once in a while. And I always remember when that happens that it's coming from their own wounding. If we start to see people not as judge, but as every word that someone says, they are saying it about themselves. And if we just flip that around and then we can have compassion for, wow, it must be so hard for that person to have that voice ringing
Mm,
around in their own head, speaking to
mm,
them. So when
mm.
you hear negativity directed at you, take a breath, take a step back, take a moment, and recognize that that criticism is what that person is saying to themselves day in and day out, right? And they're projecting it onto you, but that voice is internal. That's how they speak to themselves. And it brings up compassion, right, for them. And you realize it's not about you at all. Any
Correct.
criticism you receive, it's not about you, especially criticism done out of nastiness. Like it's different if somebody is really, when you're having a dialogue in relationship and you're trying to work things out,
Mhm.
that's different. But I mean, the pot shots, those are
Yeah, my
not
mom
about
used to
you.
always when I was a kid, my mom would always say, like, "What people see in you, they have in themselves." And so every time
That's
somebody was
exactly
mean
right.
or nasty, it's like if they can see it in you, they have it in themselves because they wouldn't be able to see it if they didn't already possess it. So that's a great
And
one. Number 2?
yeah. And number two, I would say that that when you are thinking about jumping off that cliff, like anytime you get to a place where you feel like you want to do something, that to try to name your fear, to try to take a moment, step back, and try to be conscious of what it is specifically that's holding you back. What is that fear? And then separate it from the moment and say, okay, this fear exists in me anyways. Recognize that whatever moment you are in is just almost like you are an actor on a stage living out something that already exists inside you. So try to separate the fear and say, this fear is its own journey. This fear is its own thing. And I'm going to engage with this fear, right? Let that fear come up. And I would say, in terms of letting it come up, any kind of emotion around it, and this is, I think, a very practical step, is to know that a lot of people are really afraid of feeling their feelings. But if
Mhm.
you engage in your feeling fully, if you look at that feeling and rather than trying to repress it, if you say, what is that feeling? And then try to feel it as full as you possibly can, literally fill your body. So if that feeling was a color, like if that feeling was blue, give it a color, or purple or red, whatever color feels right to you. Give it a color, visualize that feeling filling up your whole body. So your whole body becomes red, all your energy becomes that color. And the thing is that if you do that, it won't last more than 90 seconds. Is that you will
Mm.
just feel it, keep reaching for it, strive to feel whatever, if it's anger, if it's fear, if it's frustration, whatever it is, try to hold it as hard as you can. And in 90 seconds, you'll find that you'll be reaching for it and it's not there anymore. And it dissipates like a cloud and it starts becoming harder and harder and harder to grasp that feeling. And then within moments, it's gone. So the
Mm.
fear we have of letting it up is we feel it's going to take us over, that we won't ever, it'll be just so hard and so unpleasant to feel it. 90 seconds and it will move out of you like a cloud. And that works.
I'm going to do that. You know what's so great about that is you can do it in the car, you can do it in the plane, you can do it in situations, you can do it in the grocery store. When something is, bumping up, you can do it backstage just before you get on stage. You can do it right before you walk down the aisle. Like there's all kinds of times in your moment where you can okay, I'm feeling myself up with that beautiful color, and even transmuting that fear color into a beautiful color or a warm color, a courageous color. What a great, great, great example. I truly appreciate hearing from you and speaking to you. I know that you're a pillar of the community. You're doing amazing things. You're igniting lives. I'm signing up to come and spend some time with you and have you read my angels. Folks, if you'd like to know more about what Anne is up to and you'd like to connect with her, please reach out to her on her website or go to our shop page on our website and get a copy of the book, Ignite Your Conscious Leaders, where Anne wrote her beautiful Ignite moment. Thanks for being here, my gorgeous. I can't wait to spend some time with you. Blessings, and may the angels shower you with blessings.
Thank you so much.
You got it. I love those kind of conversations because you know what they do is they wake us up to something we didn't actually know before we showed up to this show. We didn't know maybe some of those things. And Anne talked about things that we can actually awaken our understanding and expand our thinking. And you don't have to adapt every single thing that somebody else shares with you. But if it begins to plant a seed that germinates into something, that sprouts into something beautiful, imagine how that can help you step into your ability and your possibilities of igniting humanity. All right. Well, if you'd like to know what we're up to as we ignite humanity, go on over to our website. We got lots of stuff, fun stuff going on. We're writing an incredible, fabulous, the largest compilation book ever to talk about Ignite moments where people are sharing how their Ignite moment has inspired them to ignite humanity. If you've got a story like that and you'd like to be published and share with some of the other people on the planet who are igniting humanity, we'd love to have you apply to be on our book. We're also building schools in third world countries, and we love donations because every dollar buys a brick for one of our schools, and we'd love for you to be a part of igniting literacy amongst children, because if we can ignite their lives, they will ignite our future. And last but not least, if you would like to be on the show, we'd love to have you. And so please fill out our type form and tell us about what you're up to and what you're doing to ignite humanity so we can talk about it on the show and share it with others. I know that people all over the globe are unrecognized for the work that they're doing to ignite humanity. And this show is absolutely designed to showcase them and talk about how everyday people are doing small little incremental things that are making a big impact around the globe. Well, it's so nice to chat with you. I love that you're here. So thank you for showing up. And of course, if you'd like to watch us more, you can find us on Ignite Television, our Facebook page. You can find us on YouTube, and you can also find us at Traverse TV. All right, big blessings to you. Hope you're going to have a great day. It's a beautiful day. Find some solutions that are going to help you tap into the greater being of who you are. Listen and connect with your angels because they are there right with you. All right, blessings. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.